Welcome back, everybody, to Just the News, No Noise. As we step into a new season and begin our spring cleaning, it's equally important to cleanse our bodies of any parasites, although this topic often doesn't get much attention from the medical community. So let's explore some effective and natural methods for detoxifying your body. Joining us now to discuss that and some other issues surrounding health, he is a world-renowned doctor and chief scientific officer at the wellness company, Dr. Peter McCullough. Doctor, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, we were just chatting before we came to air about, there are so many Americans who suffer from high blood pressure, and they take ACE inhibitors, calcium channel blockers, beta blockers, which obviously can be helpful. They were invented to be helpful for this matter, but there are a lot of folks out there who are, especially since COVID, are very leery of getting hooked on pharmaceuticals. Are there natural ways for people to lower their blood pressure?
There certainly are. Losing weight, reducing salt in the diet, exercise, and then supplements like beetroot extract. And we feature that in the wellness company, Healthy Heart. Those are reasonable things to do. Now, 65% of adult Americans do develop high blood pressure and ultimately take medications. The reason why we take medications, myself included, is to prevent heart failure and stroke. This is very important. Those are the two main outcomes from untreated hypertension. So if we get an early jump on this, I think we can actually have better blood pressure control over a longer period of time. Probably require fewer medicines, which is ideal. If you have high blood pressure, you take one medication, it's not a big deal. If you're on 3 or 4, it becomes a problem.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. So I want to talk about, you've been our absolute horse whisperer when it comes to understanding COVID. You had it right, Tony Fauci got it wrong. JAMA had a new study, I think, in the last few weeks that showed that long COVID is really dropping quickly. Tell us what that means and why it's probably good news for all of us.
Data appeared from Shaw and colleagues in JAMA indicating from 2022 to 2024, there's been a 30% drop in long COVID. Now, two things happened during that period of time. We transitioned to a milder form of the virus, number one. More people gained natural immunity, so fewer people are having de novo infections. And of course, fewer people were taking vaccines, which further load the body with spike protein. So all of this is good news. The current estimate is we're between 5 and 10% of people out there with some type of pandemic syndrome, whether it be long COVID or the vaccines or both. Great need and continued need for the ultimate spike detox from the wellness company. One of the reasons why the syndromes may be decreasing in frequency is, in fact, people do now understand the importance of how the spike protein is retained in the body after vaccination and infection, and how natural products like the Ultimate Spike Detox, taken for a year or longer, actually extended use now for many, is doing the job.
Incredible. Dr. McCullough, there is something else that a lot of people are walking around with, and we have no idea. I've seen some insane statistics lately regarding how many of us have parasites sitting in our body. The statistics are just absolutely appalling and disgusting. Talk to us about this. Is this really as widespread as some of these statistics suggest?
It's contextual, but I can tell you people who drink water from camping, where a common parasite infects water. I think about all of the troops and support people in the Middle East now. They're getting water from various sources. They're at risk for parasitic infections, those who eat sushi. Anytime you go into a restaurant and you see on the menu, it says, warning, eating undercooked or raw food may cause illness. They're talking about parasites. So at the wellness company, we combine ivermectin and benbendazole in a fixed combination. And, you see a doctor online, and if it looks like you have a neglected parasite infection, which is difficult to diagnose through stool testing, empiric treatment is very reasonable for it.
Let me just jump on that. I have seen a lot of people who are a little overly affectionate with their animals, and they let them lick them in the face. Is it true that that can also bring more parasites?
Yeah, so true. So in the dog's saliva and around the nose, there can actually be the eggs of various forms of worms that the dogs get, particularly puppies. That puppy love, when the puppy's licking your face, watch out, you can actually get a parasitic infection.
Wow, that's something I did not know. That just changed my whole behavior tonight. How about that? Yeah. Doctor, before we let you go, you mentioned ivermectin in the context of the parasite cleanse and things like that, but it's also continuing to emerge as an interesting thing to study on cancer. There's a lot of optimism. Obviously, data still has to follow that optimism, but do you expect that the linkage between ivermectin and cancer treatment will grow over the next few years?
It will. It's in more and more trials as an adjunct for various types of cancers. And, in 2025, Time magazine on its cover had turbo cancer. The question was, why are all these young people developing cancer? The doctors considered all these different factors, microplastics and other things in the environment, but failed to consider the pandemic. And I think both SARS-CoV-2 infection and COVID-19 vaccination will prove to be risk factors for cancer developing at an earlier age, more aggressive, what we call turbo cancer.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Dr. McCullough, before we let you go, I know you've talked about this on our show many times, but I would love to have you reiterate this. The regimen that you have talked about with the gargling and the nose spray. Give our audience that again, because I think it's a great recommendation. Yeah.
Well, John just did it. He can tell you, but Wellness Company, we have immune defense. Which you do a nasal spray twice a day, 2 to 4 sprays up each nostril, sniff it back, spit it out, blow it out. And then the spray, probably about 3 to 5 pumps as a throat spray. I additionally gargle. I like, over-the-counter gargles, Scope, Listerine, Cepacol, Spry. They all do the job twice a day. And what you do is you knock down the virus so it doesn't take hold and then become a real infection. So you can actually abort incipient viral infections by regular twice a day nasal sprays, throat sprays, and gargles.
This really
Because
happened.
it doesn't.
My family came back from a trip, and they all had this bad respiratory thing. And man, I was right next to them. I hit that spray twice a day. I did the nose twice a day, and I'm the only family member who didn't get it. It was really remarkable. I mean, I'm a believer. My whole family's a believer now.
It's amazing because so many people think that you can get rid of this stuff or thwart it with medicine, but you can do it with mechanics. That's literally mechanics that's getting rid of it. It's absolutely amazing. And we get that best advice from you, world-renowned doctor and chief scientific officer at the Wellness Company, Dr. Peter McCullough. Always a pleasure to have you with us, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. And to our viewers, as spring cleaning approaches, do not neglect your health. If you are interested in detoxifying your body from parasites with natural remedies, visit twc.health/justnews. And use the promo code JUSTNEWS to save 10% on your order. That's twc.health/justnews. And use promo code JUSTNEWS to save 10% on your order. All right, everybody, one more commercial break, and then we're going to be back on the other side.